It's no secret that the CIA has conducted a variety of experiments, many of which have been released through certain networks and channels. In the pursuit of knowledge, scientists and researchers have been known to push the boundaries of ethical thinking for the sake of medical and technological breakthroughs that could help change the world, either for the better or the worse. However, when such unethical experiments are being conducted right under your nose, at private institutions and universities all across the United States, it makes you wonder what else these people are getting up to. The Central Intelligence Agency has a long history of ties to illegal activity, morally questionable decisions, and dark experimentation that seems to border on the insane. Regardless of their actions, it seems that nearly every new declassified document seems to uncover more and more impossible to explain, or even worse, impossible to justify experiments that continue to bring to light just how far the CIA is willing to go to gather their intelligence. One of their less extreme files revealed that the US agency was interested in the mysterious Mount Ararat anomaly. This was after a spy plane took several photographs of a patch of ice on the mountain. It was first spotted during 1949 while the United States Air Force was doing a flyover, and at the time it was labelled a secret. The CIA would go on to investigate this anomaly for the next few years, with some documents suggesting that they couldn't come to a conclusive answer for what the object was. The document was called Noah's Ark and Mount Ararat, and it shows that the Central Intelligence Agency did investigate the structure, and whether or not it was perhaps the smoking evidence that would prove that the Bible was real. Documents revealed the following. The CIA has a thick case file on the Ararat anomaly. Over 20 years numerous photos were taken, all to be classified as top secret. End quote. The files were gathered back in 2006 by Professor Porcher Taylor, who submitted a Freedom of Information Act request. He said the following to Space.com. I've got a newfound optimism as far as my continuing push to have the intelligence community declassify some of the more definitive type imagery. I'm calling it my satellite archaeological project. I maintain that if it is the remains of something man-made, and potentially nautical, then it's potentially something of biblical proportions. End quote. The CIA though have said it's nothing of interest, and people should trust their comments, saying that all it shows is glacier ice underlaying more recently accumulated ice and snow. Not everyone believes these comments though, saying that they don't have a great track history of telling the truth, and they don't have the public's best interest. Other researchers have come forward in recent years to back up the theory that Noah's Ark along with the flood did happen. Noah's Ark is a story that many of us have heard. It details the story of Noah, of whom was given the task of building a massive boat and placing on it examples of the world's animals. Interestingly, in recent years a few researchers have come forward and said that at one point in time a great flood did happen. Recent discoveries by underwater archaeologists suggest this event ended up sinking many cities. One such finding was made off the coast of Turkey, where researchers found traces of ancient civilizations dating back since the time of Noah. One thing that's interesting is many civilizations talk about a great flood, and some of these are even documented. Some scientists don't actually doubt that this happened, but have suggested it may not have been as massive as made out. For example, one theory is that the Great Flood could have been the flooding of the Black Sea, and researchers have said that rising water levels happened in this region around 7,000 years ago. Again, scientists know that there was an event that sank cities. After all, several underwater ancient cities have been discovered in recent years. It's the magnitude of the event that people can't seem to agree on. Various other images have been taken of the area, helping to fuel theories that more work is needed to be done in order to find out what this thing is. There's said to be various sites on Mount Ararat where the structure can be found, and this has caused some to say that there could have been several boats. The idea behind these claims is that believers think the boat could have somehow survived on the mountain, with some theories suggesting that the climate of the mountain helped maintain some of its original shape. Whether Noah's Ark is ever going to be found we don't know, but it's important to mention that Mount Ararat rests upon volcanic strata. Mount Ararat is known as a stratovolcano. A stratovolcano is a large conical-shaped volcano that's made up of one layer of hardened lava and volcanic ash. The area is actually made up of two stratovolcanoes. These are known as the Greater Ararat and the Lesser Ararat. It's also the Greater Ararat's massive size that poses an issue for the Ark theory. It sits at a height of over 16,000 feet. Researchers have said that even if the Great Flood was true, there's not enough water that could rise to this level. The next problem is that an eruption happened in 1840, covering the mountain and surrounding area in volcanic ash. The next thing researchers said is how would a wooden structure be able to survive this? It would have been immediately destroyed upon impact, and that's if the structure was even there in the first place. Some have said it's obvious that we're never going to find Noah's Ark on this mountain. These same people state it's also very much possible that Noah's Ark will never be found at all. However, some believers have said the eruption may have somehow missed the structure, and that it's still sitting on the mountain. A team of researchers even came forward and claimed they had found solid proof of the structure, and this came in the form of wood found inside the anomaly. They claim that this was part of the original structure, and say that this is proof that the story is fact. It was discovered by a 15-member team, and they claim that radiocarbon dating proved this wood is over 4,800 years old. Satellite imagery helps us to explore hard-to-reach places, including that of oceans, jungles and snowy regions. One place of interest is that of Antarctica. Scientists and researchers have made countless discoveries in this region, helping them to better understand its environment and the mysterious life forms that call this place home. Some might think that after centuries of technological advancements, we would have finally begun to understand the planet we live on and the impact that we have on it. This couldn't be further from the case, and while at times it seems that this may be true, just when we think we know as much as we can, a discovery will turn our knowledge on its head and make us realize that despite the wealth of information out there, there is still so much that we don't yet know. Although in recent years various interesting discoveries have been made in Antarctica, which I'll touch on shortly, it's perhaps the more mysterious ones that grab people's attention. For years now people have claimed that Antarctica is home to many mysteries, including secret bases, mysterious archaeological discoveries and advanced crafts. As of right now, governments and scientists have said there's no proof that mysterious crafts have been found here, and although that may be the case, it hasn't stopped people from finding strange things in the Antarctic ice, one of the most recent ones being that of a strange structure that allegedly appeared, with another object that's dividing people, with some saying that it's a secret base, while others have said it appears to be an unidentified flying object, and that you can see that it's casting a shadow. The first object is this one, and it was posted online not too long ago, and shows what looks like a boomerang-shaped structure on top of the ice. Theories for what this is range from a secret base to an archaeological artifact that's now visible due to melting ice. Some theorists believe that advanced ancient civilizations may have reached Antarctica in the past, and due to melting ice and glaciers there may be countless archaeological artifacts waiting to be found. They point to these strange-looking structures as evidence of this theory, and even go on to say that some of these areas that show these mysterious artifacts sometimes get blacked out, proving that they don't want people knowing about these discoveries. The reason why some people don't think these are normal research bases is because they suddenly show up, and that before this there was no sign of them. As with most of these discoveries though, we have limited information and photographs to go by, so what these depict is up for debate. Another discovery that caused various ideas to be put forward is this one. Someone posted this video online showing what looks like either a small building or a flying craft, saying that they couldn't explain what it was, and wondered if anyone had seen anything similar. As mentioned earlier, theories for what this thing is range from a small research station to an unidentified flying object. One person commented on the video saying the following: "Why would a tiny research base be in the middle of Antarctica like this? Could it be a weather station?" While another person said the following: "I know that some people are saying that it looks like a building, but to me both of the objects appear to be hovering, as you can see both of them casting a shadow on the ground. I'm not saying that these are unidentified flying objects, but it does look like they're flying. I've seen similar looking structures in Antarctica, and no one seems to know where these things come from. Same as the other structure, people can't agree on what this thing is, leaving some to believe that perhaps there are secret bases or objects in Antarctica that we're not being told about. Scientists recently announced that they carried out tests on a subglacial lake and found them to be teeming with life. Antarctica is known for being a place where life does not flourish. Although creatures such as penguins, seals and krill do inhabit the icy continent, most of these species do not live there all year round, and migrate elsewhere to escape the brutal winter. When researchers visit, the conditions are so extreme that they must take intense precautions to prevent hypothermia. The last thing that any of these researchers expected to find was an area actually teeming with life, but that's exactly what they stumbled upon. Under an ice sheet around 3,500 feet deep lies a lake around 50 feet deep. Researchers interested in studying this lake used drills and hot water to break through the layer of ice, and they took 15 gallons of water samples and a sediment core over 15 feet long from the dark waters below. What these samples revealed surprised the researchers. Study and analysis determined that the subglacial lake was teeming with bacterial life, and the samples contained an average of 10,000 bacterial cells per milliliter. Although this number may seem paltry in comparison to 1 million bacterial cells per milliliter in samples taken from the ocean, for a totally sunless underground lake the numbers are astonishing. The fact that there is such a relative abundance of organic matter means that the lake could very likely be supporting other more complex life forms, which the research expedition will likely begin to search for. A nearby subglacial lake also revealed high levels of bacteria during an expedition in 2013, which further validates these more recent findings, and leads researchers to theorize that these lakes were at one point connected to the larger oceans. This would have been thousands of years ago, and thus have remnants of carbon deposits from early photosynthesizing organisms that allow the modern-day bacteria to survive. The discovery of such a surprising abundance of life forms is important to researchers. The first is that it gives hope and guidance to the search for extraterrestrial life forms, especially on Mars, which has evidence of dried up underground saltwater lakes, not unlike the ones uncovered in the Antarctic. The second benefit of this discovery for researchers is that it provides important information about the history of Antarctica and what the now hostile place might have looked like thousands of years ago. So what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.